Hey guys, so can you make your own jewelry just like I do? Can you make your own? Absolutely you can, and I encourage it. If you are kind of a do it yourself person, DIY, if you're very handy, if you're really good with your hands with little pieces, I absolutely suggest it. It is so much fun. It's great. I'm popping in today with a little bit of a longer video as opposed to my usual very short videos, to just give you a heads up about what happens when you start making your own jewelry. And take this not only from me, I started in my early 20s, I'm now 52, so you calculate the math, but from all my other entrepreneur jewelry friends who are doing this for many years. There in fact are funny memes going on about these jokes. And I'll explain as I get a little bit further into this, but the point is this: when I started, I just wanted kind of, to make myself some pretty things with crystals and, all kinds of like fantasy and fairy things and whatever, because everything I found in stores was just extremely expensive, like $600, $700, $800, $1,000. And I was like, I can't afford that. So I found some stores and I found, some findings, right? Some chains and charms and crystals and stuff like that. And I started making my own stuff. And then people started asking me to make for them too. What happens is that's all very good and well, but remember, you don't usually buy one piece of something. Like, let's say if you want to buy fairies, right? You buy a package of them. So 10, 20, 30, depending how much bulk you're buying, okay? And then you have a lot of fairies, or a few fairies, 5, however much it is. What happens with time, after you start making a few pieces, you don't want all your pieces to look the same. You don't want them to all have, let's say, fairies and unicorns and blue crystals. And only one size of blue crystals or one kind. There are ones that have like pointed backs, which shine a different way. There are ones that have flat backs, which shine a different way, even though it's the same color. They could both be, let's say, a sapphire blue, but they look a little bit different. They shine differently when they have a pointed back or a flat back, or whether it's a bead. So you start getting into this stuff and you see that, like, okay, there are a lot of different things out there, and you start getting bored at some point. And maybe like bored isn't the word, but basically you don't want to keep making the same thing, right? You don't want to have 10 necklaces that all have exactly the same components in them. You want different colors, you want different whatever. So you start buying different things. And so starts the rabbit hole and the snowball of, you end up with a craft room / studio / whatever you want to call it, with lots and lots as you grow, right? And also what happens is there's a period of like trial and error. You get things that are cheap and, sorry for the word, people, but crappy. They're not made well and they break, and you start understanding like what to get and what not to get and what's important. Are they lead free? Do they not have lead in them? All kinds of like different things that you start noticing. You test all kinds of different adhesives. And let me tell you, in the beginning, the adhesives I was using were really not good, and crystals were falling out left and right. I would say it took me between 5 and 10 years to finally come up with the exact good adhesive that I really love, that the crystals hardly ever fall out, maybe once in I don't know how long. So all these things, the links, all the little parts you're using, which are the not so good quality ones that fall apart, which are the better ones. So it's a lot of trial and error, which is fine when you're just making it for yourself. If you're not selling it, that's great. My arm is getting a little bit tired. I'm going to pause for a sec. Okay, had to switch hands. I really should get like a tripod and just put it up here. Anyway, so bottom line, what ends up happening is you start buying more and more and more crystals and charms and pieces and things because, you want variety. And what you end up finding is that it just costs a lot. And I started understanding why people really charge what they do for handmade jewelry, because the bottom line of it is you have to have a lot of inventory to make a variety of really pretty things, especially if you're going to do things like I do, which I like to like layer. So like I'll take a base piece, let's say, and then I'll attach lots of different things to it, right? And like you see, there's like just so much interest going on over there, and there's a lot happening on the piece. You have to have a lot of different pieces. So through the years, I will, after I finish this video, I'm just going to edit it and add another short video of my studio so you can see how many different parts and pieces and stuff I have. I've posted this before, but kind of not with this little intro of just so that you know what you're getting into when you start making jewelry. Because what happens is it is addictive. I can tell you, once you start, you can't stop. If you really love it, you're not going to be able to stop. And you're going to be spending a lot of money on components and things, and just making sure you have a nice variety. And you'll see, as soon as if you have the touch and you have kind of the designer touch, and you know how to make pretty things, because that's also part of it, I guess. You can just slap a whole bunch of things together and then it'll look so great and nobody really likes it, nobody wants to buy it. But if you do have the eye for it, you will make very pretty things, and friends and family and possibly even strangers, which is what happened to me, will ask you to start making things for them. And you'll need more and more things. You'll need more links, you'll need more whatever. You need good pliers. You start learning that the cheapy pliers are really not great. You need better pliers because your hands start really hurting and being very fatigued when you're working all day making jewelry. It could be very painful, So there are a lot of different things that you need, and you start finding that you're spending a lot of money, which is how my business actually started, because it started as a hobby and I was just making stuff for people. But then it got so expensive. Like, I had probably $1,000, let's say, worth of inventory, just stuff that I bought. And I wanted to make that money back. And there was a lot of interest. Okay. People really wanted the stuff. So I was like, okay, let me just start selling. So at the time I started selling, obviously, because I was brand new, for a lot less. And then when I sat down with my accountant about a year afterwards, this was in my early 20s, I found out that I was actually losing money. I was losing money on the pieces, because forget my labor, the time of, just how long it takes me to make a piece, but also all the pieces that I have, whatever, you have to factor that into your cost. So the bottom line is, I absolutely encourage you to make your own jewelry if you want to. It is fantastically fun if you're passionate about it. I mean, do it. Just go into it with your eyes wide open, knowing that it is a rabbit hole, and you're going to end up wanting more and 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 more. And that's the part of the memes that I was saying before that we always share between us mompreneurs who have like jewelry businesses or any craft business. It's like, yes, I do need more beads, or yes, I do need more charms, or things like that. All these funny little, because yes, it becomes addictive, and you want more and you want more, and you end up spending hundreds and thousands, not only hundreds, thousands of dollars on materials. So it is a lot of fun. Just go into it knowing what you're going into. And now I'm going to post my studio so you see how much I actually have. Okay, so quick tour of my studio, just so you see how much I actually have in inventory, so you understand what it means to have like a business like this in case you're going to go into it and start making your own jewelry. These are all crystals, different sizes and kinds of crystals. These are partly metal pieces and charms and partly crystals. Now, I am in the middle of working and designing right now, so everything is quite messy, so pardon that. There are a lot of pieces over there too. And then I have lots more over here. Lots and lots and lots of boxes filled with charms and things. And more here. I mean, really a lot, okay? And again, don't mind the mess. Apologies for the mess. But yeah, so you see lots of things. And down here, there's even more. So, that's what it's about, basically. So, it could potentially be a lot of stuff if you're really serious about it.